Senator Mike Rounds joining us here on Dakota News Now. Senator Rounds, it is always good to talk to you. Right off the top here, I guess I want to begin with, you've made this decision now to seek re-election. What did you have to tell yourself, or what boxes did you have to check to say, okay, let's go again?
I think the most important thing for me was the work's not done. We've got more work to do. We've got some great results already, but there's a whole lot more that I want to be involved in. Uh, I, I love working on things where we can get results, and I've got an opportunity right now to make a difference for South Dakotans in Washington. John Thune is the majority leader. President Trump is moving things in the right direction. The last year has been phenomenal, uh, but I want more. I want to see more results. You think about what we've done right now, just in the last year, with regard to reducing taxes for seniors, no tax on tips. Heck, I was even talking to a guy the other day. Diesel fuel in Rapid City, South Dakota is down below $3 a gallon. So we're moving our country in South Dakota in the right direction. But I'm looking for results, and I think I can be a part of that. I want to be a part of that team that gets those results.
You know, we're heading towards the end of January right now. Primary now just a couple months away, but we'll really get into the heart of political season. Why was now the right time for you to make this decision and make this announcement?
I think after last year, we wanted to get through the government shutdown time period. We wanted to get the legislation in place that we've already accomplished. The one thing that we wanted to make sure of is that we were moving in conjunction with what President Trump was doing. We were really happy to get his endorsement along with Senator Thune's endorsement. But as a team, I think we can get a lot of things done. At the same time, I didn't want to run a campaign for years. I would rather work on policy issues, things that are important to South Dakota. So this last year, we were able to accomplish, a lot in terms of lower taxes for people that live here in South Dakota, and at the same time, we've got more work to do for people that live here. I mean, look, the biggest challenge we've got is keeping young people in South Dakota. And the opportunities that we have here are unique for our state. Ellsworth Air Force Base is a great example. We've worked for years to make sure that it is a national powerhouse. The B-21 stealth bombers coming to Rapid City. We've got a center of excellence when it comes to both artificial intelligence and cybersecurity at Dakota State University. Those are the types of things that we want to continue to work on. The whole goal, what's best for South Dakota. And I just think back. When I was growing up, my dad used to tell us that you leave things better than the way that you found them. Um, I think there's still more work to do, but I'm going to go back to that same theme time and time again. What are we doing now that will make South Dakota better? And the bottom line is it may not always get headlines, but we're getting results, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
It is a very tumultuous time right now in American politics. I don't have to tell you that at all. During this process, was there any part of you that leaned toward not running again, saying that you're done and you're going to come home to Pierre?
I when I lost Gene back in November of 21, I wondered whether or not I would still have the fire to want to keep working away, and is this where my heart was going to be? And I've decided that there are things that I want to be involved with that make a difference. I don't think anybody's ever going to say that I'm a show horse. I've never been designed that way. I've been the workhorse, I think, and I want to continue in that vein. I want to get results, and so the headlines sometimes in DC and around the country aren't the kind of headlines that I think most people in South Dakota want to see. And I want to bring them something which is stable, moving forward, and things that they would say are best for the next generation. So I'll continue to work in that vein. And I know that I've talked to John Thune about it at length, about the things that we can accomplish. I talked to President Trump about it. And look, when you take a look at the results we've had in just the last year, I mean, look, Social Security, we're going to have less taxes on Social Security. We avoided a huge tax increase on South Dakotans this last year. No tax on tips. Those are the types of things. We've got a child tax credit, a direct credit that's basically been doubled now for young families growing. Those are the types of things that we've been involved with, and I think we're moving those things in the right direction. They may not make headlines, but they are results that people will feel in their pocketbook.
Senator Rounds, is there any action that the Trump administration is taking right now that you have issue with? And if so, what are those and how do you voice those in this climate, especially considering that there are times where it seems that the president considers Congress an afterthought?
I think President Trump said it best when he endorsed me. And what he said is I will never let South Dakotans down. And I think that's the approach I take as I look at different policies. But you're never going to agree with somebody all the time. But when you take a look at the policies that really impact the people here in South Dakota, we are making a difference. And where we may have a different point of view, the good thing is when we're part of a team that's working together to make things better, you can sit down and you can talk with the administration, you can talk with other members of the Senate to make a difference long term. And after 12 years in the Senate, which is what it will be, we put together good relationships, and the relationships will make a difference. So, I have had a disagreement. I mean, just as an example, when we started talking, about importing more livestock. I talked to a lot of cattlemen who really felt that that was an issue where we needed to have somebody from South Dakota stand up for South Dakotans and talk about what the impact would be if we started importing more cattle. So we said, look, we disagree with that, but we did it in a way not so much to create a fight, but to get results and to slow down those things that might hurt the people in South Dakota. Cattle market's still strong. We're still moving in the right direction, and now we've got some other battles there that we're going to try to do. E15 is a big part of South Dakota's economy in the future, but we're an ag state. We should never forget that.
Senator Rounds, real quick, and final question for you. There was some, let's call it conventional wisdom, but we don't know how conventional or how wise it was, that you might be done with Washington and that you were going to come home and run for governor again, try to return to that office. Was that ever on the table?
The one thing that Mitch McConnell used to say was if a member of the Senate who had been working as a governor beforehand told you that they preferred to be in the Senate rather than back working as governor, or which was the better job, and they told you that they preferred being in the Senate than working as governor, they would lie to you about other things as well. And I can't tell people that working as governor in the state of South Dakota is truly the greatest job in the world. But right now, where I can get results for the people of this state working as a team with Senator Thune and with President Trump, we can make a difference in Washington. And that's finally what convinced me that this is the right move to make. This is where we can make a difference. This is where we continue to literally protect our state from outside sources from Washington, D.C. Fight bureaucrats, whether you're talking about mail service that's not service anymore, or whether you're talking about fighting for veterans that can't get an appointment at a local VA because the mail service won't deliver the appointment announcement on time, or whether you're talking about making sure that our livestock guys have a mandatory country of origin labeling as a part of the future in a farm bill. I can't do those from South Dakota. I've got to go to Washington and get that work done. But the one thing that folks should always remember, South Dakota is my home. I'm a South Dakotan. And when the time does come to retire, this is where I'll be. This is my home.
Senator Rounds, thank you for joining us here on Dakota News Now. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.